Hello? All right, are we still streaming here? All right, we're gonna reset here. I lost internet at my house. All right, this may be a new live video. Yeah, it looks like we've got a new live video. Hi everyone. I know we I just lost internet briefly at my house. So, internet is back on. I am going to change a couple settings here. Because we do have a new tornado warning update. So, new tornado warning update early Thursday, 6/18/26. I apologize. We lost internet here briefly, so I'm just resetting some settings here. Well, welcome back, everyone. Meteorologist Mike Joyce here. Um, I'm here in Columbus right now, and I actually did just hear a rumble of thunder here. We do have a storm coming through Columbus, but it is not tornado warned. We do, though, have a brand new tornado warning. If you were with me, I was wondering if we would see an extension into Brown County, and we have. We now have a tornado warning for Brown, Southern Highland, so right here around State Route 138, State Route 286 in Highland County, and we also have far northwestern Adams County until 2 o'clock this morning. The National Weather Service and I believe that this area of rotation that is now exiting Claremont County is now going to impact locations primarily in Brown County, but very quickly could move into southern Highland County as well. So that'll include State Route 321, Sardinia, Mount Orab, Hamersville, Georgetown. You are barely in the warning. So if you're in Georgetown, I still would be in a safe space. Then heading into Adams County, we have Cherry Fork and Seaman. Hillsborough, you are not in the warning. So if you are in Hillsborough, Lynchburg, most of Highland County is not in the warning. But if you are in the southern and western portion of Highland County and a good chunk of Brown County, including Mount Orab, Sardinia, and Georgetown, you are in the tornado warning. This storm does have a history of producing a tornado. It does not appear right now that a tornado is on the ground, but it has a history of it. And we're looking at both reflectivity. We see reflectivity is rainfall, by the way. We see a hook on the radar near Bethel. That's an indication of rotation. And we also see some strong rotation between Williamsburg and Bethel. So that's almost in Brown County. So that's why this tornado warning has been issued for Brown County. All right. And just to kind of give an update for other folks watching, we also have a tornado warning still in effect for Butler County, Ohio, the far western portion of Butler County until 1:30. That's going to run about 5 more minutes. We'll see if the Weather Service decides to keep this tornado warning. To me, it looks like the rotation is weakened a little bit. So we may not see this tornado warning extended into northern Hamilton and Butler County, but we're going to watch. We've got 5 minutes left on this one, so we're going to be watching very closely. We also have a considerable flash flood warning for Cincinnati, southern Hamilton County, including northern Kentucky, because of significant rainfall. We're seeing a lot of flooding across Cincinnati. In this case, we say turn around, don't drown. Because we're going to be seeing a flash flooding threat throughout Cincinnati. It's a very hilly city. It's Cincinnati, with all the rivers and all the hills, is particularly prone to flash flooding. Okay, new update. The National Weather Service has now gone ahead and issued that tornado warning for a good chunk of Butler County until 2 o'clock this morning. So this now includes Hamilton, Fairfield. A lot of people live there. It also includes the far northern suburbs of Cincinnati. It includes Forest Park. It includes Green Hills. It includes portions of Springfield Township in northern Hamilton County. It does not include Sharonville, but Sharonville is close. It does include a good chunk of 275 in Hamilton County. It does include Colerain Township. It does include Whitewater Township. A lot of people in this region of Hamilton and Butler counties. A new tornado warning has been issued just now. So let's see if we can get an update from the National Weather Service in particular on this storm. And again, I'm trying to get back to comments here as soon as I can. And yes, I am only focused on the Cincinnati area. The Cincinnati area is the only part of Ohio that is under a tornado threat right now. All other parts of Ohio, you may be hearing rumbles and heavy rain and wind. Only parts of Ohio that are under tornado warnings is portions of the Cincinnati area. And it's actually a good chunk of the Cincinnati area now. We do have a new tornado warning for Brown, Highland, and Adams County. We still have a tornado warning for Claremont County, but I do believe Claremont County, you're in the clear. This tornado warning should be allowed to expire here soon. Flash flooding ongoing in Cincinnati right now. And now we have a tornado warning for most of Butler County, including Hamilton and Fairfield. This also includes Forest Park, Springfield Township, Colerain Township, Whitewater Township. That portion of Hamilton County until 2 o'clock in the morning. So this is a dangerous storm. And we do have a tornado warning in effect. So why don't we look at velocity here? And we're seeing a good deal of potential rotation that's a little obscured right now. But this potential rotation would be just north of Harrison, right along the state line where Hamilton and Butler counties come together. So, yeah, I would be concerned. If you are in Fairfield, you should be in your safe spot. If you're in Hamilton, you should be in your safe spot. Forest Park. Safe spot. Springfield Township, Green Hills. We have the Winton Woods area. Winton Woods area needs to be in their safe spot right now. Because of this area of strong rotation. And it's moving very, very fast as well. The storm is moving east at 40 miles per hour. And the rotation that prompted the warning was located near Harrison. And I believe it's north of Harrison now. I think it's like northern Whitewater, moving into northern Colerain Township, moving into Fairfield, Butler County area. Hamilton, you're in the warning too. Forest Park, Winton Woods, all of those areas. If you're on 74 East right now, you are possibly very close to the rotation. Hopefully you're staying safe. Greene County is fine right now. Milford is okay right now. Mount Orab, yes, Mount Orab should be in safe spots. Springfield is good. Franklin, you are not in the tornado warning this time. Hamersville down in Brown County, yes, you need to be in your safe spot. The good news about Brown County is the rotation seems to be weakening, but we still do have some very strong wind, possibly broad rotation near Hamersville. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. And north of Georgetown. So anywhere between Mount Orab, Hamersville, Sardinia, Georgetown, and anywhere in between, even US 62 there, really should be in their safe spot. Again, that's the Brown County tornado warning. That runs until 2 o'clock. Back here in Claremont County, I think Claremont County's in the clear. The tornado warning's still in effect. It's going to expire at 1:45, but they may elect to cancel that early. So if you're in Batavia, Amelia, Milford, Loveland, Mount Repose, you're okay. The city of Cincinnati is not under a tornado warning. Most of the suburbs are not under a tornado warning. Most of those locations are under a flash flood warning for very, very dangerous flash flooding. But where the tornado threat is right now is primarily Brown County and Butler County. including the far northern portion of Hamilton County. That includes Forest Park, Winton Woods, Springfield Township, Green Hills, Coleraine, and Whitewater Townships. Those are the Hamilton County areas that are under the tornado warning. In Butler County, it's a lot more spots. Middletown, you're not in the warning. Oxford, you're not in the warning. Monroe, you're not in the warning. Westchester, you're not in the warning yet. Although I would watch out in Westchester because you're in line for it. Fairfield, you are in the warning and should be in a safe spot. Hamilton, in the warning, should be in a safe spot. Trenton, you are close. I would keep an eye on it in Trenton. So if you're in any of those places in Butler County that I mentioned, I would stay awake for now. This is a serious situation, and there is some rotation that's moving through that path at the moment. So just a bigger picture look at what's going on. We have two major concerns for tornadoes right now. Again, Brown County, Mount Orab, Georgetown area, southern Highland County, south of Hillsborough, south of Lynchburg. So Hillsborough and Lynchburg I'm not concerned about. And then Butler County, right here. Two tornado warnings in the greater Cincinnati area. Cincinnati itself is not under a tornado threat, but the Cincinnati is in a flash flooding threat. So a very serious situation there. Now, elsewhere, I do not see a major tornado threat. It looks like all the other storms are pretty much quiet right now. The tornado threat in northern Ohio near Willard, that is long gone. Storms near Youngstown have now moved into Pennsylvania. There are some thunderstorms near Columbus that are producing some rumbles of thunder. I'm not concerned about rotation in Columbus. I'll check really quick, but I don't see any areas of concerning rotation near Columbus. So that's good. I'm in Columbus right now, and I did see a couple flashes of lightning, couple of rumbles of thunder. Really, this is a low lightning, low thunder event. We don't have a lot of energy right now from the sun. Well, one of the reasons being there's no sun. And that's been a problem all day. We haven't had a lot of sun or a lot of energy from the sun because we've had a lot of rain that kind of killed that. There is a tremendous amount of spin in the atmosphere today. And that's why we talked about a threat of tornadoes during the daytime. That didn't materialize, but what has materialized is the tornado threat now at night. And we've been worried about this for a couple of days, that the tornado threat would come at night, and it is. However, I'm only concerned about it if you're in Southwest Ohio. Anywhere else, I'm not concerned. You can go to bed. But the two spots I'm concerned about is right along Ohio Route 32 in Brown County, and that'll be heading into Adams County. So let's see if there's any rotation, and there's some rotation near Mount Orab. So if there's going to be a tornado, it's going to be near Mount Orab in Sardinia right now. Maurystown, State Route 321, that's in southern Highland County. So Mount Orab, we've got rotation, and it's moving east very quickly. These storms are moving east at 40 miles an hour, very, very quickly. Let's see if we've got an update from the Weather Service on this specific storm. No update yet, just radar indicated rotation. But if it's going to be anywhere, it's going to be right here on the Brown and Highland County line, near Mount Orab and Sardinia, State Route 32. That is where the issue is going to be. It does appear to be weakening a little bit, but there is still some rotation in southern Highland County, in central Brown County, so that's why that tornado warning is still in effect. All right, back here in Butler County, let's take a look at this. This situation's a little messier. I'm having a harder time finding the rotation in Butler County. What we can do is throw on the Cincinnati Airport radar. It gives us a better picture. It seems like there's some rotation near Millville, due east, or I should say due west of Fairfield and Hamilton. So if there's going to be rotation, it's going to be just west of Fairfield and Hamilton, and people in those areas should be in their basement. I would also be in your basement if you're in Forest Park, Winton Woods, Green Hills, Coleraine Township. The rotation, I think, is a little north of you, but just as a precaution, because this storm is messy, on the Wilmington radar, I am seeing some evidence of some stuff going on right along the county line as well. So a couple spots that we'll have to watch out for rotation. Georgetown. Georgetown could, yeah, I think Georgetown in Butler County is in the clear. Sharonville, you're not in the tornado warning in Sharonville, but you're close to it. And so what I mean by that is Forest Park's in the warning, Sharonville isn't. Like, that's where the dividing line is. If you're in Sharonville, I would stay awake and stay aware. We could possibly see this get extended into Sharonville. So let's keep an eye on it in Sharonville. Lebanon. I believe Lebanon is out. No threat for Lebanon at the moment, but we're watching it because that storm is heading that way. Same with Mason. We're going to have to watch in those places to see if this threat continues. All right, back here in Brown County, we do have a better look at what could be some pretty strong rotation that is now moved into southern Highland County. So most of Brown County does appear to be, well, we're seeing some very strong wind here east of 68. But we're seeing the tornado threat more in Highland County now, which is north of Sardinia. And Mauricetown. Those are going to be some spots where we could see a spin-up tornado occur. The rotation's right here where we see the green and red coming together. There in southern Highland County. I don't think this is going to impact Hillsborough or Lynchburg. But I do think southern Highland is where that rotation is. It does look a little weaker in this next scan that just came in, but that is the area I'm concerned about there. Flash flooding threat in Cincinnati that's ongoing. That's a big deal. And then also we have this Butler, northern Hamilton County tornado warning. This one's a little messier, but we could see rotation and maybe a brief tornado anywhere between Hamilton, Fairfield, Millville, and Winton Woods area. Just going to take a quick drink of my pop here to kind of catch my breath. We've been going for almost 2 hours. So we're at a campground in our fifth wheel. Well, hopefully you're safe, Darcy. Chillicothe should be okay. Not worried about Chillicothe. I'm primarily concerned about, and I'm going to put the rainfall rates back on here. Primarily concerned about southern Highland and northern Brown County and Butler County and northern Hamilton County are the only two areas we have a tornado warning right now. Now, if you're in Columbus, I'll mention Columbus briefly because, well, I'm here and a lot of people are here. We do have some storms rolling through Columbus, producing a lot of heavy rain. I can hear it outside my house. I've even seen a couple streaks of lightning and rumbles of thunder down near Grove City. So we do have this storm moving through. I don't see any indication of any rotation in the Columbus area. I can check the Columbus airport radar. There's nothing. I think Columbus is safe from tornadoes. It's just heavy rain, a few rumbles. That's about it. So that's good news there. Still some strong rotation here north of Mauricetown in southern Highland County. I wonder if we will see this tornado warning extended. If it continues to hold together and move east. So if it were to get extended, it would get extended probably into probably throughout southern Highland County right here. So where that rotation is, US 62, State Route 321. It's a pretty rural area, but it is south of Hillsborough, and I'm not immediately concerned about Hillsborough. But we're going to have to see how this storm holds together if it does. All right, back to Butler County. Yeah, there's definitely some air rotation between Forest Park and Fairfield up towards Hamilton. A lot of rain coming down, maybe even some small hail north of Ross here along State Route 126. So, and yeah, that very, very heavy rain, possible small hail over Fairfield. And that's where the tornado risk is. So hopefully folks in Fairfield and Hamilton are in their safe spot. The good news is it looks like if you're in Hamilton County, so Forest Park, Green Hills, Winton Woods, Sharonville, Coleraine, it looks like those areas, the rotation is a little north. There might be some small rotation here where Forest Park and Fairfield come together. You might be familiar with the intersection of 275, where if you go north, you're in Fairfield. If you go south, you're in Forest Park. That portion, there could be a little rotation, but stronger indications for a rotation are up here in Butler County. Still a very populated area between Hamilton and Fairfield. And again, we do have some ongoing flash flooding concerns in Cincinnati, and the rain, while it's cycling, is not entirely letting up. More heavy rain from Cheviot all the way to the west side of Cincinnati. That's just making this flash flooding threat worse. So a lot of heavy rain potentially making that flash flooding concern in Cincinnati worse. So again, if you're just joining us or have some questions about which areas we're covering right now, we have 2 tornado warnings. We have a tornado warning in Highland and Brown and Adams County until 2. We'll see if that gets extended. There's some rotation in far southern Highland County that we have to watch. And then also another tornado warning in Butler County between Hamilton, Fairfield, and northern Hamilton County. So that it would include Forest Park. And that is also until 2 o'clock this morning. So we're going to stick with us. Mason, you should watch in Mason. You're ahead of this, but it's moving quickly east at 40 miles per hour. So if you're in Mason, I would consider a path to your safe spot just in case you get a tornado warning. We're going to be watching it very, very closely. New just in is a new flash flood warning. We now have a new flash flood warning for Claremont and northern Brown County. This new flash flood warning is going to run until 5 o'clock due to heavy rain. So we have very heavy rain and some flash flooding occurring in very hilly and rural areas of Claremont and Brown County. So that's new. All right, let's focus on our tornado warnings. I'm just going to kind of cycle through everything. We've got a lot going on. I do think we have a little hook still on the radar near Maurystown along the Highland and Brown County lines. If we take a look at velocity, though, it looks like any rotation is now in Highland County, north of Maurystown. It's south of Hillsborough. So we'll watch very closely in Hillsborough, but I think it's going to stay south of Hillsborough. We're going to have to see, because it's reaching the edge of the tornado warning here, we're going to have to see if the Weather Service is going to decide to extend the tornado warning. The rotation is weaker, but because this storm has a history, we're going to have to watch it. So, and there we go. In that last scan, it strengthened a little bit. So we'll see. I wouldn't be surprised if we see another tornado warning here for southern Highland County. All right, back here in Butler County, a little messier. If we're going to have any rotation, it's going to be through Fairfield right now, it looks like. So Fairfield's the home of Jungle Gyms. Also, between Fairfield and Forest Park. So those would be the 2 areas of rotation. This area of rotation is also going to be exiting its tornado warning soon. So we'll see if the Weather Service decides to extend into Westchester and Mason. in Sharonville. So a concerned area outside of this warning would be maybe where 275 and US 42 come together. Again, that's near Westchester, Sharonville, up toward Mason. So they have trimmed the warning back a little bit. But let's see if we have a text update on this one. So tornado warning remains in effect for Butler County. Moving east at 40. Yeah, okay. No major updates, no confirmed tornado. But we do have still some rotation there. So we're going to see if that gets extended as well. So we're certainly going to stick with it until 2 a.m. Let's see what happens here in Highland County as well. The area of rotation is now firmly in Highland County, it looks like. Although, I'm seeing a weaker area of rotation back here in Brown County again, near Winchester. So, we're going to watch this too. We might have two areas of rotation. This one here, south of Hillsboro, and this other one here, south of Sardinia. So let's watch that quickly. We'll see if the Weather Service responds with another tornado warning. If they don't issue another tornado warning, then maybe they have evidence to believe that it's weakening. I'm not entirely convinced that it's strengthening, but again, we've got a lot of spin going on all across the region, and anything could spin up quickly. So we're going to watch that very, very closely. What I can look for is debris. I don't see any major debris signatures. I think this is just clutter. A major debris signature would be like a big dark blue ball, and I just don't see it, which is good, but that doesn't mean that the rotation isn't there and the tornado warning isn't warranted and the people shouldn't still be in their safe spots. Boy, it's messy up in northern Butler. I wouldn't be surprised if we got another flash flood warning for northern Cincinnati now. So Fairfield to Mason to Lebanon and to Monroe. Lots of heavy rain. Heavy rain here. It's still heavily raining in Cincinnati, where we have this flash flood warning. We also have that flash flood warning for Claremont and Brown County now. That runs until 5 o'clock. And it stretches back into Indiana. And we're still watching a couple severe warned storms in southern Indiana as well. I'm hoping that those don't have energy to become tornadic at this point, but we'll watch. Now, bigger picture, you'll notice that most of the rain and tornado activity is confined south of I-70. That's true. If you're north of I-70, northern Ohio, I am not worried about any threat anymore. Columbus, I am not even too worried about a threat. In Columbus, we're getting a lot of heavy rain. I can hear it outside my window. I just saw a flash of lightning, rumble of thunder. It's been very sporadic. I do not see any tornado activity in Columbus. It's all concentrated in southwest Ohio near the Cincinnati area. So, 2 tornado warnings, Butler, Brown, and Highland, and portions of Adams County until 2 o'clock. We will see, hopefully, I'd love to see these canceled for all of our sake, but we will stick with it if tornado warnings are reissued, which could happen because there's still some evidence of rotation, particularly here in this Highland County, Southern Highland and Brown County region near Sardinia, south of Hillsboro. I do think Hillsboro is far enough away, but we'll see if the Weather Service decides to issue a tornado warning. They may elect to go severe thunderstorm warning, but we'll see. Depends on the next couple radar cycles. Depends on what happens here after 2 o'clock. Still a really messy wind situation here near Fairfield and Forest Park. If you're in Westchester and Mason, I would be keeping a close eye on it. If you're in Sharonville, keeping an eye on it. I wouldn't go to bed if you're in those communities, even if you're not in the tornado warning, just because it's possible that these could spin up. So we'll be watching that very, very carefully. Don't forget about the flash flood warnings for the Cincinnati metro area as well. Wilmington, you are not in a tornado warning. Although I think you're going to get a lot of heavy rain. I really hope you don't get into a tornado warning. I hope that these tornadic storms begin to weaken. The strongest one right now might be the one over Butler County heading toward Mason. But Wilmington, you're still a ways out from it. We have more heavy rain from Xenia back toward Centerville. I don't see any tornadic threat there. The only areas I really see a tornadic threat are, north of Forest Park, maybe Westchester, maybe north side of Sharonville, and now heading into southern Highland County, although this rotation is weakened. You can see how the green and the red aren't touching each other anymore. That's good news. I am hopeful that they will allow this tornado warning to expire at 2 o'clock. And the fact that this beige box has popped up on the radar indicates that. What that is a special weather statement. And I think what they're saying is, let's see. See if we can't get, I'm going to try to refresh my text alerts here. A strong thunderstorm will impact portions of northern Adams, northwestern Pike, southeastern Highland, and southwestern Ross until 2:15. Yeah, that's this. I think they're thinking that this is going to stay weak enough that it won't turn back into a tornado again, but we have to watch it. I think the tornadic threat has mostly ended in Brown, Adams, and Highland County. There's rotation here, but it's broad. There's a little bit of rotation here too, but it's not very strong. So I'm hoping that trend continues to weaken, but we're going to watch it. And then we're going to see what happens here. Again, 2 o'clock, we'll see if this messy radar signature really packs a rotating punch or not, or if it's just kind of starting to fall apart as it moves east. Regardless, there is a lot of rain. There's a bit more thunder and lightning here across the Cincinnati metro than other portions of Ohio. So, again, if you're in Westchester, I would be seriously looking out, because this storm does have the history of producing rotation, and I do see a little notch and hook here near Westchester. No major indication of rotation, although there does appear to be some weak rotation there. But no tornado on the ground or anything like that. So, same with this area of rotation. There's some here, but it's broadening out and weakening. I hope that trend continues in southern Highland County. All right, so we're going to stick with this until 2. That's when these tornado warnings will expire. We'll see if they are extended anywhere. It's possible, but we'll see. We're just going to probably wait for a couple more radar scans to see if another tornado warning is warranted anywhere. But just because you're not in the, but because you're near the strong storm, Mason, Westchester, Sharonville, Mainville, Loveland, stay awake a little longer. Keep an eye on it, just in case. I'm hoping it weakening. I hope it continues a weakening trend, but keep an eye on it, just because of its history. All right, why don't we do big picture, just to show you what's going on. North of I-70, you're in the clear. If we have any questions about northern Ohio, I'm not concerned. All the northern Ohio, north of I-70 threat has ended. The only thing we're still watching right now is, will these two storms that are still quite strong spin anything up as they move into Warren, Highland, Pike, and Ross County. Also, we have 2 severe thunderstorm warnings back here in Indiana They seem to be weakening as well. I don't know if they'll hold together and be severe as they enter the Cincinnati metro, specifically because we've had a lot of activity in Cincinnati, and I'm wondering if that's eaten up a lot of the energy. Gotta watch it. I'll be sticking up and staying up a little longer to watch it. And then we also have this storm up here near Connorsville in Indiana that looks to be a bit on the strong side. No warnings or statements on it yet, but it's worth watching. But yeah, this storm, wow, near Mason, still looks strong. I don't know how strong the rotation is, though. It doesn't look too impressive on radar at this moment. So they may let this tornado warning expire. There's still some rotation in there near Westchester, but it's breaking apart a little bit. I'm thinking, okay, based on that last radar scan, I know I sound like I'm probably rambling a little bit, but it looks like they may allow that tornado warning to expire. But we're going to have to watch it. It's going to be needing to watch very, very closely as it heads into Westchester and Mason. This has strengthened up a little bit here in Highland County. This was originally a little bit weaker. It does seem that the reds and the greens are touching again. No tornado warning yet. Wondering if this is a one scan deal and we're going to have to keep an eye on it. But these are our real only two areas of concern right now. Right here in Highland County and over here in Westchester, Mason area. Everywhere else is good. Washington Courthouse, I'm not worried about it. Marion is fine. But these two areas, we're going to kind of see how the rotation behaves over the next couple of minutes. We'll see if the tornado warnings are allowed to expire. If we have no tornado warnings or severe thunderstorm warnings, I am probably going to pause the stream. I've been streaming for, I'll just be honest with you guys, I've been streaming for over 2 hours. I'm in need of some water and going to kind of reassess the situation and how long I need to stay awake for coverage. But it'll give me a chance to take a break. But if we do get any more warnings, I will come back on. So we'll see what happens here at 2 o'clock. Latest radar scan. Boy, this rotation is pretty persistent here in Highland County. It's not strong, but it's not anything to ignore. It's definitely needing to be watched. Same over here near Mason. I'm wondering if we really need to be watching the south side of Mason. Between 40, so just south of Kings Island, there looks to be some artifacts on the radar that are interesting to me here. I'm not sure if that's rotation, but we'll see. All right, well, and by not sure, I mean it might not be. It might just be an artifact of the radar, but we're going to keep an eye on it. That said, tornado warnings have all been dropped, so no active tornado warning. I know I said I would drop off if the warnings were canceled. Let's give it a couple more radar scans because I want to watch Mason and I want to watch this here. Because I don't want to get into a situation where I log off and then immediately have to log back in again because of a tornado threat. I'm going to check some other sources, make sure that other people that I work with aren't seeing anything. No new tornado warnings. All right. Yeah, let's watch these two areas. And then I'll probably drop off here and come back on if needed. Colerain is okay, yes. Southeast Ohio looks okay. Sirens are going off in Sharonville. Okay. Interesting. I think Sharonville's fine now. And yeah, I think this, what looks like rotation near Kings Island, is messy. I don't know if that's a real good radar signature. That might just be garbage. But this over here is definitely something to look out for in Highland County. That's going to be heading into Pike County actually soon, and then potentially Southern Ross. I don't think it's going to impact Chillicothe. I think Chillicothe is going to be okay, but Waverly and Piketon might need to watch out for that. All right, well, here we go. We have a new tornado warning. Maybe, yeah, that rotation near Kings Island was rotation. So, yeah, here we go. All right, new tornado warning for Warren County. This includes Mason. This includes Kings Island, includes Mainville, South Lebanon, Morrow, Butlerville, Blanchester, and Clarksville. New tornado warning until 2:30 in the morning. That is why I did not turn it off yet, because I was looking at that. I was like, I'm not sure, but it looks concerning, and the Weather Service agrees. So, all right, new tornado warning. Let me get some details on it. I know it is running until 2:30 this morning. Guess I'll get my water later. That's fine. So yeah, if we're seeing anything, it's literally going to be rotation near Kings Island. So right here is State Route 3 and 22. That's behind Kings Island in the Little Miami River. So this is 741. So that is exit 25. The beach water park is there. But yeah, this area of rotation is actually between Fields Erdel, so exit 19, and Tylersville and Western Row, which would be like the south exit for Kings Island is where this rotation is at the moment. I'm waiting to refresh, and I've got some okay, yeah, severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado is located over Kings Island, moving east at 40. So the speed is the same. It's moving east. And it's heading into some really good radar coverage because we have the radar site in Wilmington from the National Weather Service. So we're going to get really good radar data here as this tracks across southern Warren County. A lot of people live here. Hopefully, if you know anyone who lives in southern Warren County, hopefully they're being alerted by the emergency alerts on their phone. But yeah, this radar signature does look concerning. We certainly have some rotation here that is now... Oh, it's probably not over Kings Island anymore. It's probably over Mainville now. It looks like it's still over Kings Island, but it's moving so fast, I wouldn't be surprised if it's closer to Mainville now, or if it's crossed the Little Miami River behind Kings Island, which would be State Route 3, US 22. So that would be moving through Mainville, Morrow, Butlerville, South Lebanon, all need to be watching. Also places that need to be watching this are Blanchester, that's in Clinton County, and Clarksville, that's in Clinton County. Quite a strong storm here with a new tornado warning. I am also watching this area near Sinking Spring that has some decently strong rotation. It's not warned. I think the National Weather Service is watching it very closely, but there is a tornado warning there. Or, I'm so sorry, there is not a tornado warning there, but we're going to watch to see if one gets issued. It will depend on what happens over the next couple of radar scans. But where we do have the tornado warning, right here, near Kings Island, near Mainville, this tornado warning is going to run until 2:30 in the morning. And if we turn our reflectivity on, that's measuring the rain, we can certainly see a hook here on the south side of Mason. So that hook indicates that there's rotating wind that draws the rain around the rotation, so it kind of appears on radar like a hook. So Marion, yes, you're good. Dayton, yes, you're good. Only Warren County right now, and only... I would keep an eye out in Pike County. Warren, we have a tornado warning. Pike County, we have some rotation that's interesting. We also have flash flood warnings for a good chunk of the Cincinnati metro area. That includes Cincinnati. Considerable threat for flash flooding. A lot of ongoing flash flooding in Cincinnati. But the main threat right now is this very strong storm in southern Warren County. A tornado or rotation was located near Kings Island and is now moving toward Mainville very quickly, east at 40 miles per hour. All right, the rotation looks a little weaker on this current radar scan, so that's good. But it's still there. It's still near Mainville. Still along State Route 3, US 22. Pretty well-traveled road that'll take you down into Loveland. I don't believe Loveland is in the threat for this. This is pretty much going to stay in Warren County. We'll have to see what happens in Clinton County a little bit later if this holds together. But it is entering an area of very good radar data, so we'll be able to see some of these low-level rotation features pretty easily as it tracks toward Wilmington, where the radar site is. But again, the area of rotation is right over Mainville. It was originally located over Kings Island, but it's moving quickly. I don't think Mason is under the threat anymore. I think this has now moved east of Mason. I think it's Mainville and then Morrow and Butlerville that are up next for this. So, Forest Park, you are fine. Greenfield, you're fine. All of those places. New Richmond should be fine. Pike Lake State Park. Yeah, let's go look at the rotation down there near Pike County. Good news about this area of rotation is it does near Sinking Spring, which is right on the Pike and Highland County line. It looks to me that it's weakening this scan. There's still broad rotation there, but I haven't seen anything to indicate an immediate tornado threat. So I'm hoping that it stays weak as it rolls through Pike County. Still indicating some weak rotation there with that radar scan, but we'll keep an eye on it. All right, looks like the rotation's weakening here near Mainville. I mean, there's still some rotation here, but it doesn't look as strong as it did when it was over Kings Island. So I'm hoping this is also going to be following a weakening trend as it heads to the east. Still, though, if you're in Mainville, you'll need to be in your safe spot. Same with Butlerville, Morrow, Clarksville, Blanchester. All of those areas certainly need to be in their safe spots for any imminent tornado threat. Even though the rotation doesn't look as bad anymore, it could still intensify. We're still in an area overall in southwestern Ohio that is still very ripe for tornadoes. There's still a lot of spin in the atmosphere in southwestern Ohio. But you know, it's been that way. We've had a very interesting day today. We initially had a threat for some possible daytime supercells. And by daytime, I mean like evening, like dinner time through sunset. That didn't materialize because we had a lot of rain. It kind of killed off all that energy we needed. But at night, what happened is we're making up for that lack of sun energy with even more wind energy. We have wind energy in the upper levels and the mid levels and even the low levels. We have the jet stream in the upper levels. We have something called the low level jet that can feed in moisture, particularly at night. And we don't need the sun to give us energy when that happens. And that's what's happening right now. We have so much wind energy that we are getting an almost April and March-like setup here in June. It's pretty rare to see these many tornado warnings issued in the middle of June with no sun. We don't usually get that wind energy. Usually in June, that wind energy is already shifting up into Canada for the summer. It's why, as we work our way through summer, we typically more see straight line wind and hail storms than we do tornadoes. Now, I know that's not always the case, but a tornado outbreak like this is not super common in June. But that said, we're having it now, and we're talking about it, and it's been a challenging forecast. We didn't see those tornadoes during the day, but we're getting them now at night, and that's not great because people are sleeping. And it's scary. It's scary when it happens at night. Nobody in the meteorology community wants that to happen. All right, let's get back down to this Pike County situation. Again, there's still rotation now moving into Pike County. This is far western Pike County along State Route 124. Still bears watching. There's still rotation there, but it's not potentially tornadic right now, which is good. That's what I'm hoping. Over here where the actual tornado warning is in effect near Mainville, it looks a lot better. I don't see any super strong rotation. I do see some weak rotation near Mainville. I do see some strong winds near Mainville, but I don't see that enhanced rotation that we did over Kings Island 10 minutes ago when this was issued. So I'm hoping this is going to weaken, but still it has a history. So if you're in Morrow, Butlerville, Clarksville, Blanchester, you'll need to remain in your safe spot until at least 2:30 because that's how long the tornado warning will last. All right, Sharonville, you're in the clear. Loveland, you're in the clear. So, hello, Mallory and Toby. Good to hear from you guys again. Hello. Sirens are going off in Lebanon. Yeah, that's for the Warren County storm. Pike County. This is in western Pike County. Again, the Pike County rotation is... Oh, good. That radar scan looks pretty good. That radar scan shows the rotation breaking up even more. I can't guarantee it'll stay broken up, but that radar scan shows improvement in Pike County. I like to see that. Let's go back to the tornado warning. All right, it looks like the National Weather Service has trimmed back the tornado warning. So Mason, Sharonville, Loveland, none of you are in the tornado warning. However, we do still have some weak rotation near Mainville that we're watching very, very closely. That could impact Morrow, Butlerville, Clarksville, Blanchester. So I'm hoping this continues to stay weak, but a lot has been spinning today. We have a lot of upper, mid, and low level wind energy and spin in the atmosphere. So much so that it's not very common to have this much in June. But we're having it and we're tracking it. So Middletown is clear. London is clear. There's a church camp in Sinking Springs. Okay. I will say, I do believe Sinking Springs and hopefully the everyone attending the camp should be in the clear now. It might be breezy and rainy there, but any tornado threat has now moved east of Sinking Springs. So hopefully the church camp is good. We're always trying to watch out for folks at those types of events that may not be getting warnings very quickly. But I do believe the rotation is much weaker and is now east of Sinking Springs. So hopefully we're good there. If you're in Morrow, Ohio, yes, you are in the tornado warning. I would stay in your safe space. The rotation looks weak, but it could spin up again. It has a history of it, so I would stay in your safe space in Morrow. Athens County, you should be fine. You can go to bed. Connorsville, I don't think so. I think Connorsville is going to be fine. Pike lasting into Vinton County, probably not. the farther east it moves, the farther away from the energy it'll move. So I do believe as these storms continue to move east, they're going to get weaker. Still, you might hear heavy rain, thunder, lightning, and we may have to break in if an isolated rotation appears. But it seems like the trend right now is better. Pike County, the rotation looks really weak right now, which is great news. So here's Pike County. The rotation looks pretty weak. And the rotation, even in the tornado warning in Warren County, looks kind of weak now, too. So I can't sound the all clear now because, we still have a lot of storm activity out there. But right now I'm seeing a lot of weaker rotation. So, but we're going to watch it because it could spin up again. Yes, Westchester's tornado warning is over. Fairborn is fine. Mason is fine. Washington Courthouse is fine. Blanchester, you are in the tornado warning, but it appears to be on a weakening trend, and I hope that remains the case. Again, let's switch back to rain mode here really quick. We're getting a lot of rain on these storms, and Cincinnati is still very much in the threat for some considerable flash flooding. We've had a considerable 2, 3, 4 inches of rain already fall, and we still have some heavy rain that's moving into the Cincinnati metro area tonight. So we're still looking at the potential for some flash flooding in the Cincinnati area, particularly in the city and closer to the river. Those are areas that we're going to have flash flooding. Well, I've got some good news for everyone. The tornado warning in Warren County has been canceled. And I agree with that. The rotation has broken apart. There's some very weak wind dynamics now over Butlerville, but Mainville, South Lebanon, Mason are all in the clear now. And Pike County is looking much better too. The rotation has weakened there. All right, why don't we do a big picture, and then I'm probably going to sign off. I'm hoping I don't have to stream again tonight, but I'm going to keep an eye on things. But all tornado warnings are now expired. We do have a couple of severe thunderstorm warnings back here in Indiana. We do have a strong storm here that is actually tagged tornado possible, but it's out here about 30 to 45 to maybe even an hour away from Cincinnati. I'm gonna watch it, but I'm gonna watch it off air just to give myself a break. Then we also have this severe thunderstorm, but I think that is going to stay south. I think this one in Indiana is going to stay south and into Kentucky and out of our area. The only one out of our area that I'm going to really watch is this one that's tagged tornado possible, but it's still probably about an hour away. I'm also still going to keep an eye on those storms that have been producing rotation, but no longer are. So that's the Pike County and the Clinton and Warren County storms. We also have some storms back here in Preble and Butler County. Those do not seem to be rotating at this time. And yeah, I'm not seeing any strong rotation. Elsewhere across Ohio, we are in good shape. It's only these southwestern Ohio storms that are strong right now. All right, guys, thank you so much for staying up with me. I'm going to take a break. I'm still going to keep an eye on things. Hopefully I don't have to come back live again. Cincinnati area, please watch out for that flash flooding. It is a major issue in the city, in the hilly areas, which Cincinnati is, and near the river. So please be safe. Stay safe, everyone.